And I apologize, my computer wants to make this all so big for some reason when I hook up to these projectors. So, all right, so I'm logged into a demo system right now, but your system looks pretty much the same. I think it's just got like some purple and a different logo. I mean, I think that's the only difference as far as what we're looking at here at the screen. So what we're going to go through is how to go through and do those reviews, where to get started. Mary, we're going to have everybody kind of reviewing the same group, or are we going to have different hierarchies? Or Chris, have you thought about organization of this stuff? Or
there's 4 different regions.
I would like the DRPs to have to do this. Has anyone talked about that?
You want what?
So the notifications are all being sent to the RVPs, and maybe is that how the hierarchy is now in this?
So the person that would know the most would be Jess. He's not here,
okay.
Unfortunately.
Well,
we have flexibility to support that,
yeah.
And we can set up in a variety of ways as far as alerts and daily emails.
Well, the thing is, when we first rolled out the social media policy in August of 2010, the intent was that all of the social media activity was going to go through CAM, right? So those DRPs who already normally review email through CAM, there was supposed to be some kind of identifier, an SM, so they would know it was social media. Whether I don't know 100% if even post review was getting done. So that's why when Chris showed Jess SunGard Protogent how you can also go through that system, he decided it's probably easier for you guys to do that. So as far as the field DRPs doing this too, I guess we can have that conversation. And
yeah,
I don't know if all of it's coming through the home office supervision.
Well, no, we get, well, it sounds like the CAM's broke, right? The SMS emails there, the SM emails aren't coming through. And then the post-review notifications are all getting sent to the RVP, so I've got thousands of notifications, literally. And they're not going to the AVP, the DRP, for a lot of these guys.
Mine come to me.
Well, probably because your default, I'm not sure how it works. They probably switched because Anna's new.
Yeah.
But I'm still getting the East Coast. I don't think it's been switched around.
Yeah, the emails can be set on anyone. But then this is going to allow anyone that has a login to go into the system too. So even if they don't get the emails, they can still go in and see everything.
Right.
So the interactive content is going to be, now instead of CAM, we're going to use this.
That's the vision I think that I'm hearing you guys are going towards. So, which is, by the way, how most of our clients do it. They'll use this as their system of record and come in and do the reviews in here, and then anything that's sent to their version of CAM is really just about an archive and record retention as opposed to a review platform. So once you get into the system, the first thing we present you is really just a dashboard from a workflow point of view, and what it's presenting to you is a couple of different flows for the workflow. We have what we call a pre-review workflow, which is this down arrow. I don't believe you guys are going to be involved in that, but just so you know what that is, that's if they submit content for pre-approval, which they can do through our platform, and I know a handful have done that. I think Chris and I have talked about that. But then we have this post-review platform and workflow. And the way that this works is that the system goes out and scans the accounts on an hourly basis. It looks for content. Sorry, my battery was low here. I had plenty of juice.
Chris, is it set up so that regionalize who is an who's the user?
Jess went in and kind of set it up. I think everyone has an account.
Sorry to make
For
you
the hierarchy table easily. So once you guys see this, you can talk to Jess how you want it to be structured. I don't want to speak for him. I just showed him how it could work, and it seems like it would work better than the email.
I think you have to, but they can create a filter so that they only see their
Yeah, there you go.
their reps.
Yeah, I think that's how it was before.
There you go. Thank you so much.
It goes through CAM.
It's not going through CAM, right?
Is there any way it can go through CAM, or is that?
That's ideal.
Or is that,
Keep it
yeah,
in one
ideal would
system.
be through CAM.
But if not, then this is our backup.
Yeah, so is CAM off the table as far as working with the SM email?
I mean, this is all stuff, talk to Jess about it. I just pointed out because I noticed all this stuff here and I knew you guys weren't seeing it. And I showed Jess, and, you know, he's going to decide how he wants it to flow.
Yeah.
You know, I
So-
just could tell that it was slipping.
There's a
through
lot of
cracks.
advantages to coming through a system like this. So when we come into the workflow, you can choose the types of content you want to review, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter content, or you can just click on this particular workflow, which will take you to a combination of all of that. So for example, and we have some website reviews in here, I'm just going to get rid of those.
This was like nicer because you can actually see what they. Yeah.
And that's the intent, yeah. So for example, you can see I'm monitoring a Twitter account, and in this case, I favorited or liked this tweet that I put out there. And so what it does is it looks more like social media, acts more like social media. You have a status history of when this content was captured and created. We tell you what policy rule was triggered to review this content. So in this case, this was a randomly sampled one, which we have capabilities if you want a random sample. Let me find some other ones in here. For example, we have the capability of doing photo reviews, and so in this case, I have a policy that's set up to review all photos that come through the system. Again, I can see when it was captured and created, what policy rule it triggered, so on and so forth. And then I have the ability to then either approve, disapprove, or archive whatever comes into my workflow. So if I'm fine with this, I can click on approve, I can add my comments, and it goes to the next one. And I just can keep running through these as quickly as I want. We also have the capability that if you don't want to have to click approve or archive for every single one of these, you can read through these. Yep, that's good, that's good, that's good. Get to the bottom of the page. Sorry, I'll go a little faster. And then you can bulk, if you're fine with everything that you saw on the screen, you can bulk approve that and add a note or bulk archive it. Both of which end up kicking the content out of your workflow. It's just how you stamped it, right? So it will log whether you explicitly approved it or whether you just decided to archive it. It really doesn't change how the information is stored. It's just what the status was that you added to it. So some of our customers don't like to approve everything, especially if there are things that they don't care about. They don't want an approval stamp on there, and so they'll just archive it in that case so that it doesn't have an approval associated with it. If that makes sense.
But the post, if you review it here, does it highlight the lexicon words?
Yes.
That
Yes, I do have. Let me find a lexicon example here. Hope I have some lexicon examples in here, I should say. Oh, I know where I should go. Sorry. Here we go. So here's an example of the there we go. Here's an example of what a lexicon review looks like. So I have in my lexicon the term distress. And so what it will do is if it captures content that has that term associated with it, it will then come into review as what we call a watch list violation. And then you can see highlighted here in yellow as that term that I was concerned about, and hence then I can either approve, disapprove, or archive it. If you disapprove of content, you can actually use the system to communicate that to your rep or whomever needs to be communicated with. So you can put in a reason if you'd like, a subject for the email that's going to be generated, choose who the email is going to be sent to. By default, the owner of the account is checked here. You can then put in a message, VCC, CC, so on and so forth. the way that the disapprovals work is, our assumption is that if you disapprove something, that you probably want it to be off of their page or their site. So if they put up a photo that shouldn't be there and you disapprove it, the system will actively scan that account once the disapproval has been done to see if that photo still exists. So if you disapprove of something but you don't care if it's up there, then you may want to just do an archive and communicate to the customer saying, hey, you probably shouldn't be doing, not the customer, the rep, you probably shouldn't be putting stuff like this on your social media account. But for the most part, when people disapprove stuff, it means that they want it pulled down.
Does actually the system pull it for us, or
no?
So it's just a notification.
It's a notification, yeah. Ultimately, each Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter social user controls their account. So third parties can't pull stuff down. I wish, but probably nobody would use Facebook if a third party could pull down stuff, you know. So ultimately, the social networks allow those people to be, you know, kind of the controllers of their accounts. So, are there questions on anything we've talked about so far? Okay.
And that email message, does it go to their email, like on Facebook, or an email we choose?
It's the email that's registered within our system, which is typically their First Allied.
It's their First Allied.
Yeah. Yep. So, but there's a variety of different reviews, and what a lot of our clients like about this is it does look more like social media. You know, the difficulty with doing email reviews, or when we try to turn this stuff into email, is the fact that it's hard to make social media look like an email and vice versa. So you'll notice that we've got the photos in here, the links, and if there's share statuses. We also have a lot of filters involved in this. So for example, if you wanted to say, review just the images that were shared, you can come into content types like Facebook photos, click on the little refresh, and now you're just reviewing those photos for that particular account. Okay. Now we also have some history and archiving that's also part of this. So if you want to look up a specific account, typically what I do, but there's a lot of different ways to go about it. You can go into the directory. I usually type in the name of the person that I'm looking for, the first couple of letters at least. It will filter for who I'm looking for, and I'm actually looking for someone named Demo actually. And then here's all the accounts they have registered. So you see their Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter accounts are registered in here. If you want, you can jump into a workflow for all of their accounts at once if you'd like. Or if you want to look at specific accounts, all you have to do is just click on the icon of the one you want to review. It'll take you to kind of what we call a metadata screen here, and then you can jump on workflow, or you can look at the history. So if we want to look at the history, all these views are kind of the same. It's just how it filters when it gets to this look here. So I can say, well, show me all the content between, I don't know, today, or let's go back a month or two, from October 1st to today, and then I can find that content. So it looks like I've got a total of 41 pieces of content here. And then I can go through and review that, or print it, or whatever you need to do from there. We also have the capability, and by the way, anytime you're in these little workflow boxes, you can click on any one of these to jump to specific things. So if you want to jump to the account information, like my LinkedIn account info, or if you want to jump to my my user one, like if I jump here, this will show you a summary of all the accounts that I have registered, and then I can jump to a specific one from there. We also have the concept of, and by the way, anytime you hit cancel, it's just going to take you back to where you were. Okay. We also have the concept of the ability for you to generate audit reports. So if you want a PDF for a specific date range for a user, you can say here, I want everything from October 1st to December 17th. Put it in email, and then it will generate one that will send to you. And it looks like social media. It looks like what we have on the screen. It's just all the data is blown out as far as who reviewed it, when they reviewed it, comments they made, all that good stuff.
Can you audit by more than just the email address? Can you, like,
Well, no, this email address you're adding here is where you want us to send it to.
okay.
Sorry, that's where the file is going to go to.
Greg.
Well,
Is he calling the line?
Yeah, that's it.
So,
okay, so James,
Go ahead.
this is kind of like the first time these guys have seen this platform. So when they come in, they log in, can they individually set the filter so that they're only looking at the reps they're responsible
that's
for?
true. We can set that up. So probably what Chris and I would work on is we can set up groups so that, for example, if I were a reviewer, I could set it up so that 7 reps were assigned to me, and I would only see the reviews for those 7 reps when I log in. That's no problem.
Is it just showing, as a supervisor, is it just showing me the exceptions, the violations, or is it showing me everything?
It's showing you just the exceptions or violations, yes. If you want everything, that's collected too, but these are,
Oh, as supervisor.
yeah, as well as anybody. So we have a policy behind the scenes that is making decisions. That's probably one thing that we're going to need to talk about, Mary and Chris, when you guys make this transition, is we have a policy in place that says, well, if there's a comment made on Facebook, I want to put that into post review. If there's an event or if there's a like or a photo share, that the policy makes the determination as to whether it hits the workflow or not. For what you guys are doing, it may just be best to use the lexicon and then maybe a handful of things that you're maybe concerned about. We can talk about that because right now the policy is really just send a cam is kind of what the policy is right now.
Yeah, so the person that I think was involved, Megan Cosgrove, she's not here anymore. So I think, Jess and Ryan and other regionals are going to want to talk about how they want to adjust all these, if they wanted to use the lexicon.
And we can set this up for you. I mean, we can teach you how to manage it if you want, or we can come to you and say, well, here's what we think are best practices based upon all the clients that we work with. And then we can also give you an idea of how busy you'll be with the selections you make, because you might say, hey, I want to review every status update, and okay, yeah, you're going to be real busy. Why don't you let the lexicon help you determine what status updates you want to review as opposed to all of them?
And we went away from lexicons on CAM and went to an artificial intelligence that CAM is proprietary. We don't know how it works. But the lexicon became a mess because
It's tough.
we went down to, I think, 10 lexicons is what we have right now.
10 versions of it?
No, just 10 words.
Oh, just 10 words.
On top of that, CAM has artificial intelligence to quarantine emails.
Okay.
But they don't tell us how it works because it's a trade secret. But
Well,
the lexicons, if you had one word, you could have an explosion of hits.
right. And typically when a client gives me their lexicon, I will tell them, you don't want this word in there. You're going to get hit. Like one of them was link. I said, you're going to go crazy with this. So what we can do is we can make recommendations for that. For some people who don't want to get into the lexicons, we can set up random samplings. So you can say, I want to review 5% of everything that happens on the Facebook account, or I want to review 10%, and you use that as your way to demonstrate that you're supervising the account. Some will say that they want to review every photo, or they want to review every like, or things like that. And so that's kind of up to the client to make a decision as far as what is important to them. We can make recommendations, but ultimately all of our clients they make their own decisions on how they want to do it. And that's why, as far as how you've been doing before with CAM, that was the direction you wanted to move in, and we're happy to support that. But if you want to go in a different direction, we can support that as well. So it's all about, for us, flexibility and trying to understand what you want to do and going from there.
So if we switch to this system, are we turning off the email notifications that are currently going on?
That's up to you guys.
I would recommend that you continue to send content over there, but put it in a place that won't generate reviews for you. That's what 90% of our clients do. They
right
want
now
it stored
it's just,
over there.
Yeah, right now it's just FYI to advisors saying, this is what you did, and
Yeah.
this is the policy.
It would be duplicate at that point too, won't it?
Yeah, because if we're sending them emails from this,
Now, we also have the capability to automatically disapprove things with the system. So if you set a policy saying that you're not allowed to do, for example, Facebook videos, okay, we could set up a policy that every time we detected a Facebook video, it'd be automatically disapproved by the system, and then we can actually create the message that would go out to them as a result of that. I don't
We have that right now.
Yeah, I don't recommend a lot of that because I mean, it's not going to evaluate the content at all. It's just the fact that it is a Facebook video, no matter if it's a video of their kids or a video of them teaching you how to get rich overnight. It's going to treat it the same. So, but some firms, like for example, they're concerned. I would say 80% of the customers that we deal with are concerned about, very concerned about LinkedIn recommendations given and received. And so they will use the automated disapprovals to support that as far as support their policy. So it's kind of up to you as far as how you want to use it and what makes sense for your needs. As you can see, we've got I think 150 rules in here. Again, you don't have to learn them all. We can make recommendations to you as far as what we think are good rules, based upon what other customers are doing, but ultimately it's kind of up to you.
How do you see like when they share links? I see that a lot when I went in here. They'll share like a link, but like when I click on the link, I can't get to it. I don't know what they're sharing. What's the best way to do that? Can you do it in the system, or can you do I have to like cut and paste it into a browser?
No.
You saw the email I get, it was like some weird. Like, I don't know if it's like an application, because maybe they're doing it from the phone.
It's a good question. In our system, I don't know what it looks like when it gets to you on the email side, because I just don't see that. But let's see, in this, let me see if I can find a link that was shared.
A lot of
so here's a situation, where I shared a link, and if I click on this link, it will take me in a new page to what they actually shared. Is that what you were trying to do?
Yeah. Some of them would let me do stuff. Some of them wouldn't. Like, I don't know, was giving me like this message for like an app. I don't know if it's from an app or I need an app to do it. I was just wondering.
Yeah. There are times where they share a photo, like this photo was shared here, and this is the link to actually go to the photo. Sometimes the social network won't let you go and actually see a bigger version of that unless you're logged in or a follower or.
Is that because it might be private instead of public or something?
Yes.
Either way, we probably wouldn't want them doing that. We should be able to see what
Yeah.
they're
And
sharing.
if it's a business
You can
account,
see
it
some-
should be.
Because all this stuff is supposed to be business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, they shouldn't.
They should, their personal account shouldn't be
Yeah.
They
registered
shouldn't have
under
pictures of
anything.
kids and stuff.
Yeah.
Your example was like, they had an app set up, and they were like recommending something to the
It
app.
was like through LinkedIn. It was through a LinkedIn thing. It was sharing something, and I was just like, what is this? And I tried to click on it. It wouldn't let me go there. I had to like go to his LinkedIn site, but I wasn't connected to him, so it was just a mess.
Yeah, and
And I was like, that's it.
yeah, it's
Shut it
tough.
For that, I would just recommend calling, figuring out what that was. We couldn't really determine what it was.
Yeah, I know. I'd have to call him.
but they can't download an app. That's a violation, right? Because they have a.
That's how it's set up.
And it's tough to police that, by the way. Very tough to police that.
So yeah, or go ahead.
You can put that in your policy, but like links, the social networks typically won't share with us if an app was added to the account. They treat all of us as kind of, and we're an app as well, right? So they kind of keep all the apps from talking and knowing about each other. So have you ever gone to your Facebook account and seen all the apps that you've added to it that you may or may not have known you've added to it? Have you guys ever seen that screen?
No.
No, I have not.
Can I show you?
Can't remember
Yeah,
logging on
that
to
one.
Facebook on there. Just busy playing Farmville.
Yeah, there's actually like
Yeah.
a tab called apps.
Yeah, Farmville is an app, right? So
I would get on this thing forever.
yeah, Facebook sucks, but Twitter is my passion. But I love tweeting, especially during sports games or during sports. But so you can go into your Facebook account, and I don't know what the numbers are, but most people have anywhere between 10 and 20 or more apps on there. So like these are some of the apps that I have on there who have access to my content, some of which are my own apps, like this advisor group social media is their version of what you guys have with us, and Compliance Watchdog is another example of that. But we, from our application's point of view, we're totally blind to this. They won't share that with us. So when something comes through with another app, good luck.
So someone sends someone like a pig as a gift.
And we can customize the language on the notification.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, one of the big complaints is the advisors don't understand the notifications.
We can customize those, absolutely.
So it'll say like status archived, and they don't know what that means.
Right.
Or, yeah.
If something is
Well, they shouldn't be getting those. I mean, if we switch to this, they shouldn't be getting those anymore. I mean, I would imagine that we want to send this content to an inbox that is just for storage purposes as opposed to.
Well, the one where they say their account's no longer hooked up to the system,
Yes.
you want to keep that one.
Yes, we definitely want to keep that one. Absolutely want to keep that one. And automated disapprovals we want to keep, but yeah, as far as like this was archived or that, yeah, we want to get rid of those. Sorry.
if something is disapproved, or whether you do the automatic or whatever,
Yeah.
and you generate that note to send to the advisor, does it do like kind of follow up as well, where if it doesn't see a change within a couple of days, it'll pop up again for you?
It doesn't. It remains in a workflow called disapproved, which is the first one in the corner on your screen here. It will remain in there until the system detects that it doesn't exist anymore.
Okay, so it's in the queue until it's gone.
That's correct.
And it does that automatically? It moves it from that status?
Yes. It'll move it from a status of disapproved to, I think, either deleted or discarded. Deleted, I think is what it's called. And that's part of the audit trail of the content. Yep. Chris, other things that you think I've probably forgotten there we should talk about?
Show the rules. Maybe on the home page, just all the tabs, how it's easy to get to things.
Yeah.
You can see just the LinkedIn or just the post or brief.
We can also, just so you're aware, we can create saved filters that are accessible on the home page. So for example, let's say that you went in and found, the research function basically gives you access to everybody you have access to, and you can then start dialing in on very specific ones. So maybe you say, I want a filter for all the LinkedIn content for demo user and website demo as the user, and I want that just for LinkedIn. There we go. And I always want to come back and see what these two guys are doing without having to do that. So you can go and here to save and click on save and say LinkedIn dudes is what we'll call it. And then you can always from your home screen now jump specifically to filter that particular filter and get that view and go deal with it. So there's a specific set of reps for a specific type of thing you want to look at. Maybe you're always concerned about photos that are posted by a particular user. You know, instead of having to look them up every time, you can create some saved filters for that as well. So this concept, what we call the Content Explorer, it appears throughout the system from a workflow and history point of view. It's just, you know, what you're looking at, it always depends upon, you know, the filters that are selected on the left-hand side. So, you know, you can play with the filters and find, you know.
How do you find the guys that are like the most active?
Great question. We have a report called the Social Media Usage Report, and I think this is what you were asking about, Mary.
Oh, doctor.
And so we can tell you which users are generating, which accounts are generating the most content. That's how we deem active as content.
Yeah.
So you can see that my Facebook owner here has 5,300 pieces of Facebook content, but Youth Central, that's my Twitter account, is coming
Sorted by how much was disapproved or a violation?
We have, you can click on this, and it will rerun the report to show the content that was, let me think about this, do we have, I thought we had a report that would show that, let me think. I don't play with our reports very often. User violation, there we go. So we can run a report that shows which users have the most disapprovals by social network. So you can see, for example, like this account that had 43 disapprovals. I mean, if you have someone with that many disapprovals, I'd probably take them out of the program, quite frankly. I
Get
mean,
some more training.
yeah, or train them, or basically say you can't do social media anymore. It would be my recommendation if you have more than a couple. But I mean, that's why you guys pay the big bucks to figure that stuff out. So, but yeah, we can give you specific graphs about that. We also have a social media analytics module that can even get even more detailed about this. SunGuard usually charges for that, but I'll just turn it on if you guys want it. And what it does is allows you to get an idea of who your power users are, how often they're using the content, how often people are reading their stuff, how often their content's liked, and they usually charge, we usually charge an extra whatever for it, but I can turn it on for you.
Yeah, so since
Don't tell SunGuard.
you guys are more risk-based, it seems like, what I hear of Jeff, this allows you to kind of look at the risk base rather than just getting like a ton of emails that you don't even understand. That's why I thought this would be beneficial for you guys.
Yeah.
To find the problem people.
Yeah.
So,
Start getting some trends.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Who am I going to kick off this Facebook?
Exactly. You can get an idea of, you know, where most of your social media
Facebook
activity is coming from. I mean, you guys, if I were to look at your reports on this, I'd probably see a lot of LinkedIn accounts,
Yeah,
but
I think
they
we
may
have
not
about-
be super active.
Right. I think
Yeah.
we have about 360
Yeah.
LinkedIn accounts. I don't know how active they are.
Most LinkedIn
10%.
account owners post something once a month. LinkedIn is not viral. Yeah, it's not.
No Twitter.
No, it is not. Are you a Twitter guy?
No.
Dude, you're missing out.
I know.
And then one thing, there's another option.
I'm going to hashtag, I do hashtag for salad.
Yeah. Speaking hashtags.
There's the pre-review option. So let's say you have
Right.
an advisor that is a problem, but you don't want to take them off yet. You could tell him he has to submit pre-review on here.
So yeah, so they can actually log into a portal. They can create content for pre-review. So this is just a dummy one I have sitting here in the system. But so I can type a message. Here's a link I want to share, and then upon my click of the approval button, it will go to LinkedIn. So that's all built in. You can use it. I mean, nothing we've talked about here costs extra money. It's just there waiting for you if you want to use it. What we talked about earlier this morning costs a little extra money, just so you're aware of that. But
There's no way to put the account on pre-approval.
there
Other than
is
us telling them.
actually, kind of. So we can create so, you know, we looked at the policy manager. You can create multiple policies, and we can create like a heightened supervision policy and set it up to the point where if the system detects that it did not come from us, meaning from the application, that it can fire off alerts or disapprovals or whatever the case may be. I have a client who actually does use it that way.
So that means the advisor, even though they try and post something on Facebook, it won't allow them until we approve them.
No.
for this.
What it will do is if they do it, it will send them a bunch of nasty messages saying, no, you need to go through a pre-approval process. We can't stop them. No app can stop anybody from going on their phone or whatever device and posting to their account. But we can tell you if they've gone outside the process that you told them that they should be part of.
Okay.
That makes sense. So, and that that can apply to everybody, or that can apply to a specific, I mean, I wouldn't recommend doing that for everybody. But if you've got like some problem child.
But if the advisor logs into this system and tries to put it on their social media account for pre-approval, it'll still go on there. It won't go on there until we approve it.
There are two options. Okay, they actually can log in the system and check an attestation that this content does not need to go through pre-approval per your policy. That is logged as part of this, that they check that. So if they went past your processes, you would have that as part of the record. We can set up the policy so that whether they check that or not, it always comes through pre-approval. Does that make sense? So you can see what their intent was, but still lock them out. So it's kind of up to what you guys want to do.
Yeah, I don't know if our advisors can handle something.
I don't either, that's why we didn't
There
have
was a
that.
couple that tried it early on, and no one reviewed them, so then they just.
Yeah, and that's
They barely understand.
they ended up in the ether and stuff.
Yeah, it would only be for like, someone that really is active on social media. I think Alan Yee is, and
Yeah.
he would maybe do it.
So there's some nice little features in it where they can schedule the post and they can do, some other things that way. But most of our clients will have the user go into our system and pre-approve if it's advertising related. Otherwise, they say go straight to the social network and do it, and we'll call you if we find something we don't like.
Yeah, but having
Train
the
you.
advisor try to determine whether it was advertising or not.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of up to you. But I mean, I do have customers who review 25 to 50 pre-approvals a day. So, but again, of similar size to First Allied.
Well, I guess we have to determine the activity, Chris.
Yeah.
Determine the activity, because we have pre-approved libraries through AMS. So if the advisors are posting the commentaries that we pre-approved, that's fine.
How do we know that, though? That's the one
Yeah,
thing.
that's what we have
That's
to
what I
determine
figure
how
out.
they'll know that.
'Cause, like, we can't always tell. Like, there's supposed to be something that came through that let us know, like, this is pre-approved. And that kind of goes back to the link.
Yeah, well, we do have a pre-approved library in the concept. Like if we wanted to load that content into our library and they went into our system and they can actually publish it directly from our system.
No.
Otherwise, I don't have a lot of answers for you as far as what, in a post-review basis, if it didn't go through our system, we have no idea whether you were okay with it or not. And that's one of the downsides of not using the pre-approval process.
How often do you guys change those articles? Like, is that something
Well, they're weekly,
There's a weekly commentary.
weekly of all
With
the
a
articles?
new one
there's
every week?
monthly,
Every week. There's a-
and there's, and then there's random.
Oh.
Maybe you could distribute that to all of us so we know.
We're gonna move maybe the spreadsheet to the Everyone Drive.
Pull it up, yeah.
Yeah, but I think also, like, maybe, can you do it, oh, no, they don't have a show on here. Because sometimes, like, you can just look at it and you just automatically know it came from, like
Yeah. I don't want to see
AMS
anything.
or something.
My-
You should just see the same thing, it's set up the same, it's a template, so it's gonna be the same week after week after week. So the layout will look the same, so I don't know if that might be beneficial.
The weekly commentaries, you'll recognize them like platinum. I don't know if
Yeah.
you start to recognize it. So if you see that, and you know that the advisor always is a new contact.
Yeah. Fair enough. We'll do it.
I have another customer who uses Fourfield. Have you ever heard of them?
Yeah.
Their content provider. They will, so for example here, this link that I've shared, if you go into content detail, it actually shows you, no, not here, the short link. You can actually see the raw link, which is right here, CNN.com. So I'll say FourfieldKT.com or whatever. I assume yours will all have a similar
Oh.
AMS.
Yeah.
AMS.
Platinum
So
slash.
all you have to do is just
Yeah.
look here, see what that real link was, and it's away.
There you go.
There you go. See,
There
you
you
can
go.
do it.
I'm smarter than I look, man.
Yeah.
Okay. What other questions do you have? Or-
It's like, come on, serve me up again.
What else you got? I ate a Cheesecake Factory, man. I got all sorts of things going on.
I think I'm tapped out. I don't know.
Okay. Mary, Chris, did I miss anything or anything else you think I should go over for these guys?
I think,
We'll have questions.
they're just getting into it. They're gonna be able to decide how they wanna use it, how they wanna change the rules. But until they kinda go in there and mess around, they're not.
Well, there are things sitting in review in your system. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
So there are things to, quote, play with. And, Chris, I probably would work with you to try and set up a hierarchy like we did in the website side so that, kind of divide up. I mean, you know how to make reviewer assignments, all that good stuff.
I think Jess is back tomorrow. He'll be the one that you're gonna really be working with for
Okay.
supervision stuff like this.
But I'm just going to make you do all the clicking, is what I'm saying.
I'm just gonna be here as a resource because I've messed around in here a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
So Chris knows his way around the system pretty well.
What about YouTube? Is YouTube part of this?
It is not. It is not. If they share YouTube video through Facebook or Twitter, that stuff comes in, but not.
Yeah.
not
But
YouTube.
our advisors know that YouTube videos need to come in for pre-approval. They,
So,
Except Walter's part of
And if they don't,
please don't forget.
it. I know.
yeah.
yeah, our Eagle Eye I showed you this morning, it finds that. In fact, videos I posted I forgot about have come back from it. So we can let you know if they went outside the process with Eagle Eye. Well, we can help you find the videos if they went outside your process. But anyway, interesting. Okay. Anything else? All right. So.
Is there a way to get rid of like home office employees in here? 'Cause, like I see everyone's stuff. Yeah, I see like all home office.
Personal accounts shouldn't be hooked up to this.
Yeah, but I see like your LinkedIn account
change
comes
that.
through.
but is
Like
it
home
active?
office, I'm
is it
on the
active, though?
corporate DRP, so.
I think it's disabled though.
Oh, really? I was just seeing everybody in there when I went in there and played around with it. I saw like everybody's stuff.
I think if you look
Find
over,
anything
you'll see
I did find some interesting stuff. I was like, interesting. I gotta make a few phone calls.
Yeah, once
Little
you
bribes.
if you accidentally hook up your personal, I think your history goes in there and there's no way to get rid of it.
No.
Yeah, so
There's no
people that
delete button.
accidentally did that.
Any application that's a compliance application that has a delete button should be fired.
Okay.
So we don't have any deletion processes. We can make things go inactive, but we don't delete content. So anyway, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the recording off then.